Good morning. I'm Marjorie Lyons, and I'm the volunteer state president of AARP Oklahoma. Joining me today is Sean Voskuhl, the senior state director of AARP Oklahoma. We are here today to release a new survey commissioned by AARP that explores the views of the 50-plus Oklahomans on electric utility rates. Now, earlier in this year, in a separate survey, we asked older Oklahomans to tell us about the challenges they face. When the previous study showed that just under half of the respondents polled had trouble paying their utility bills, it seemed appropriate to dig further. So we need to better understand how the 50-plus Oklahomans feel about their electric utility issues. And I think this is another example, and a very good example, of about how AARP works for me and my family on the issues that are important to us. So the results that we are releasing today are based on a telephone survey of more than 800 Oklahomans 50-plus, and it was conducted March the 21st to the 28th. It didn't come as any surprise that the majority of Oklahomans, actually more than 3/4 of those surveyed, expressed concern about the rising electric cost. 43% said the monthly bill has gone up just in the past 12 months. Higher gas prices, higher grocery bills, and higher health care costs, coupled with rising electric rates, mean Oklahomans 50-plus are having a harder time to make ends meet. With many older Oklahomans on a fixed income, it's really a pocketbook issue, plain and simple. Just hit you in the pocketbook. Now I'd like to ask AARP Oklahoma's Senior State Director, Sean Voskuhl, to speak about the survey findings, the cost of the new power plants, the environmental laws, and the smart meters. Sean?
Good morning. You know, in the last 3 years, we've seen legislation introduced at the state capitol dealing with what we call QWIP, Construction Work in Progress. And we've also, in the last 3 years, Oklahoma consumers have dealt with many rate cases that have been the Corporation Commission. So we thought it was important, with potential legislation as well as upcoming rate cases, that we provide the survey results of the 50-plus population in Oklahoma concerning these important issues. Now, we were able successfully to stop QWIP, Construction Work in Progress legislation, this past session, but again, it does come up every year, it seems like. And QWIP is an ability for utility companies to charge upfront increases to consumers' bills for capital expenditures or the purchase of power plants. According to our survey results, 87%, or close to 9 in 10, polled say they oppose legislation allowing electric companies to charge consumers an upfront fee on future capital improvement projects. And that's to us, that's a very important statistic as we talk with our legislators and the Corporation Commission about those funding schemes that seem to come up every year. The EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, recently rejected Oklahoma's regional haze plan to reduce pollution on coal-powered plants. And I think many of you all have heard about that. Some have estimated that the cost of the additional scrubbers for those power plants could increase utility bills by as much as 30%. So we asked our respondents, and they said 79% said of those who polled opposed legislation allowing electric companies to raise their rates to comply with environmental laws that are anticipated but not yet passed. The survey results affirm AARP's efforts to stop legislation that result in higher electric rates for customers. The new survey also shows that most 50-plus residents in Oklahoma are not familiar with smart meter technology. That was adopted by OG&E last year. Only 17% of the respondents say they were even aware of smart meter technology. And we're aware that the pilot project is now over, and OG&E is establishing those pilots, those smart meters statewide now. A smart meter technology is based on the time the utility is used. After smart meters are installed, utility companies oftentimes offer pricing plans based on which typically charge higher rates for electricity usage during peak times. So we asked the 50-plus population, and they said 73% of those surveyed said they oppose electric companies mandating time-based rate plan. And the reason AARP is opposed to higher rates during peak times, it unfairly penalizes the elderly, the sick, and children and young families who have to be at home and need that energy during those peak times. So oftentimes, people least can afford it will have to pay higher rates during those peak times. The survey results also indicate that respondents were 60% less likely to vote for candidates that support legislation allowing electric companies to raise rates to comply with environmental laws that have not or anticipated to be passed. 68% respondents said they're far less likely to vote for candidates that supported legislation allowing electric companies to charge consumers upfront construction work in progress plans. According to results, 77 respondents said they either always vote or vote most of the time in Oklahoma's elections during the last 10 years. We plan to share these survey results with our legislators as well as with the corporation commissioners. Now, Marjorie?
Excuse me. AARP Oklahoma has launched a volunteer team to work on utility issues. And those that are interested in more information about being on the AARP Oklahoma Utility Watchdog Time can email us or they can call the state office. Our state office number is 1-866-295-7277. And our email address for that would be ok@aarp.org. You also may look at a full copy of the new electric utility survey, and it's available on our website at aarp.org/ok. We'll be glad